Hello everyone, time to solve this 3 by 3 system. So we've got 3 equations and 3 variables. So that I can refer to them, I'm just going to call them equations A, B, and C. And I'm going to use the elimination method. So looking at the variables, I notice both of these have a 2x. So if I subtract those two equations, then the 2x's are going to cancel. So I'm going to go ahead and just write down equation A would be 2x minus 3y plus z is equal to a negative 1. And then for equation C, I'm going to go ahead and multiply through by a negative 1. So multiply this equation by a negative 1. So that will result in the 2x becoming a negative 2x. And then it'll be plus a y and plus a z, and the negative 3 will become positive 3. And then I can add these equations together, combining like terms, which means that the 2x and negative 2x cancel. And then there will be a negative 2y and plus a 2z. And on the right side, 3 minus 1, that equals 2. Okay, so this is one equation that has y and z. Oh, I just noticed that all of those numbers are 2's, and so I could actually simplify my life if I divide everything by a 2. That'll just save me a little bit of work in the future. So this will just be minus y plus z is equal to 1. Okay, now I have one equation that has y and z. So the happy face is saying good. Now go get another equation that has y and z. So if you go back to my equations with the a, b, and c, I already used a and c. So I need to use two other equations. And I need to eliminate x. Well, I noticed that this one and this one, they both have x's, and I could just use equation A exactly as it is, 2x minus 3y plus z equals a negative 1. And then I want this one to become a negative 2x. So I'll need to multiply a negative 2. I need to multiply a negative 2 times equation B. So multiply equation B by a negative 2 and go ahead and distribute that. Alright, so if you multiply through by a negative 2, this is going to be negative 2x. And then when you multiply the y, that's going to be negative 2y. When you multiply the negative 4z, a negative times negative will be positive 8z. And then you do have to distribute, and a negative 9 times negative 2 is going to be a positive 18. And then add these equations together, and the x's are going to cancel. We would be left with negative 5y plus 9z is equal to 18 minus 1, which is 17. And with this one, I can't really reduce it, so I'll just leave it. So I now have two equations that have y and z, so then I could use substitution or elimination with those two to solve for y and z. Or in other words, we're almost done. So with this equation, it would be easy to solve for z. All I need to do is add y to both sides, so that would be 1 plus y. And then that can be substituted for the z in the other equation. So this bottom equation now becomes negative 5y plus 9 times, and then replace the z with 1 plus y, and then it equals 17. And then distribute the 9, so we'll have negative 5y plus a 9 plus a 9y equals 17. And then combining like terms, the y's will be 9 minus 5, so that's 4y. And then subtract 9 from both sides. And 17 minus 9 is an 8. So it seems that y equals 2. Divide by 4 and divide by 4. The y is equal to 2. Okay, that's good news. Then what about z? So then I can just use this equation where I already solved for the z and move that down here. And then if y is a 2, that means that z will be 1 plus y, or 1 plus 2, so z is equal to 3. So we have what y equals, we have what z equals. Now I just need to find out what x equals. So I just need to go and get one of the original equations. It doesn't matter whichever looks easiest to use. Which one would be easiest? I think the middle one would be the easiest. So I'm just going to grab the middle equation and bring it down here to my work. All right. And then substitute the numbers that we already have. So we don't have x, we have y is a 2 minus 4 times z is a 3, and that equals negative 9. So how much is that? Well, this is negative 12 plus a 2 is going to be a negative 10. So negative 12 and then plus a 2 is negative 10. And then it still equals negative 9. And then all I need to do is add 10 to both sides. And it turns out that x equals 1. And then usually, rather than leaving the answers all scattered like this, you usually write them as an ordered pair, that x goes first, y goes second, and z goes third. So there, I box it up, and I'm done.